Hello and welcome to April 2025's edition of What the Heck is Going On in the Denver Housing Market. You're catching me right before I get a haircut today, so forgive the crazy hair. If you're new to my monthly market update series, I'm a real estate agent in Denver, shocker, and every single month I like to break down exactly what is going on in our housing market so you, as a potential buyer, seller, or just interested party in the Denver real estate market, you know exactly how to win. Now, I am going to throw some numbers on the screen here. If you like numbers, you'll dig it. If you don't like numbers, don't worry. My job here is to simplify all of this for you in easy to understand language. So I'm going to start with numbers and I'll explain what those numbers actually mean. So keep in mind, we get in April, we get the numbers back from in April, we get March's numbers back. So that's why it says March, but this is April's update. So most people, when they're thinking about a housing market update, they're thinking are housing prices up or down and how long are homes taking to sell on average. We can see right here, home prices are down in March, a negligible amount. I would honestly argue our prices are flat. And the days to sell is taking about 18 days on average, which is down 38% from the same time last month. Now that is really interesting that housing prices are remaining flat. However, homes are selling 40% faster. What does that actually mean? It means we still have a lot of buyers in the market buying homes, but for reasons in the economy, likely due to tariffs or just interest rates being higher, and all the housing, if I could speak, all the house price appreciation we've seen the past few years, buyers are being really sensitive to price right now. So there are more buyers, hence homes selling quicker, but they're not as quick to get into bidding wars. Now we can also see over here pending sales, which is buyers writing offers, is up by how much? 40%, 41% actually. That's a lot of that's a huge increase from last month. 41% more homes were under contract and 32% more new listings hit the market. So 32% more new listings and then 41% more buyers are entering the market than this time last month. But despite that many buyers jumping into the market, which is great, because we have so many homes for sale on the market, so many new listings hitting the market, we're just not seeing that same crazy bidding war going on right here. And a big reason, that's all I want to talk about on this chart, and a big reason housing prices are remaining flat despite there being 41% more buyers in the market is because of this number right here. Now there's a lot of numbers here. I only want to talk about one, and it's this one right here. It's active listings at month's end, which is the fancy, nerdy real estate way of saying how many homes for sale at the end of the month. If we look at this time last year, we are up 67% more homes on the market just from this same time last year. I don't care what product you're selling. When buyers have 67% more options to choose from, they get a lot pickier on what they're looking for, and they're usually more willing to negotiate on price, and they don't want to overpay for something. Hence, less appreciation, slight depreciation this past month because we have so many new sellers putting their homes on the market. Is this a bad time to sell? No, I don't think so, because once again, look at that 41% increase in buyers. It's not like we're selling less homes. And if we look, speaking of selling homes, we closed 25% more homes than the same time last month. So no, I don't think it's the most amazing time to sell ever. That was 2020, 2021, and the first part of 2022, but it's certainly not a bad time. It just may not be the most likely market to get into multiple offers. Now, where do I think our market's going to go the rest of the year? I am so glad you asked that. This is a chart showing 10 years of data on new listings. And what we can see here is every single year, like clockwork, we're looking at the green bar only. That's all residential properties. For the past 10 years, our new listings, which is sellers listing their homes, we pretty much peaked right around the July timeframe, which is what we're right on track for here. So I think as we go into June and July, that's when this is going to start to go down and less homes are going to be hitting the market. Now, if we're talking about buyers, pending sales, buyers writing offers, same chart, 10 years, looking at the green bar, because that's all residential properties, we can see we have the most amount of properties going pending every single year around the March, April, May, and June timeframe. Now, I need to breathe for a second. I gave you a lot of months: March, April, May, June. June or July is when most of these peaks are. I don't like if I have a choice, I don't prefer listing a home with June or July, even though that's peak season, peak, because our market drops really aggressively every single year once it does start dropping, as you can see, and it pretty much always starts dropping around June or July. So if I'm listing a home in June or July, or I've only got a couple weeks left of prime selling season before our market starts declining. You don't really want to list into a declining market, especially when homes are taking 18 to 30, 40 days to sell. So listing in that April now or May timeframe, you got plenty of ramp up time right before we peak around June or July, and we have less buyers in the market. Now, guys, that was my bird's eye view of the housing market. If you want to get more nitty gritty into your specific neighborhood as a seller or your price point as a buyer, feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the YouTube description below. I would love to have a conversation with you. Believe it or not, I don't just make YouTube videos. I actually sell and buy real estate. If you have questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and hit that like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.